Oh boy. So another day and another $725 million in military assistance to Ukraine, compliments of the Biden Harris administration. I was really worried about this. Despite the fact that I have no ties to Ukraine, despite the fact that I could really care less, I'm 100% American. For some reason, the media, the mainstream media, and the Biden administration, the Democrats, they really have brainwashed me into really caring about this foreign country, and also hide the fact that really what's going on here, it really appears, is that this is just a whole money laundering scheme to send money overseas and to enrich certain companies in the United States. And they try to justify it like, well, we're not giving money to Ukraine. We're not giving money to a foreign country and simply leaving it over there. All right, ladies and gentlemen, real quick, 'tis the season to start thinking about gifts for the holidays, and I have the perfect solution for you. Mike Lindell gave me my very own promo code for my Unwoke fam that will make Christmas shopping this year a breeze and easy on the wallet. Go to mypillow.com and don't forget to use promo code Unwoke for up to 80% off this holiday season. First of all, that does happen in some capacity. If you see, there's a lot of pensions being paid overseas in Ukraine. The economy is being propped up. It's really disgusting. But they try to justify all of this money going overseas to Ukraine by saying, well, it's just, weapons being sold from, our country to Ukraine. So essentially what's happening is weapons from the United States, this is what's happening in a lot of these cases, are being bought with taxpayer money, okay? And these weapons are being sent over to Ukraine. So essentially, if you kind of think about this, essentially what's going on is you have, these weapons manufacturers just getting billions upon billions of taxpayer money. For what? Why? It's like, wait, that's how you guys justify the billions of dollars that goes to Ukraine? Oh yeah, it's all coming back into the American economy. Well, why should the taxpayer subsidize these weapons manufacturers? What's going on there? Oh, you need to explain that part. You fail to explain that very critical aspect of this situation. But regardless, let's get into this. Biden Harris, they're sending this money to Ukraine for some reason. And this article says they're preparing to send an additional $725 million in military assistance to Ukraine that will include counter-drone systems. Okay. And more of the controversial anti-personnel landmines that most countries around the world have outlawed as a weapon of war. The U.S. was not a signatory of the Ottawa Convention, which prohibits anti-personnel landmines. The package will also reportedly include munitions for its high-mobility artillery rocket system. Two U.S. officials who spoke to the Associated Press on the condition of anonymity would not confirm whether the armaments being supplied for the high-mobility artillery rocket systems were of the ATACMS class, but Ukraine has reportedly been pushing for more of the missiles ever since the Biden-Harris administration allowed Ukraine to use the missiles against Russia. Yes, so, of course, this is the whole scare that happened, a couple weeks ago where we were allowing this certain class of weapons to be used by Ukraine inside Russian territory, which is different than before because this is a serious weapon. And also, not only that, but Ukrainians, they did not have the capacity to use these on their own. They had to have direct involvement from the United States to show them how to use this certain type of weapon, which, if you think about it, seems like a direct conflict with Russia and the United States, using Ukraine as a proxy. So really what's going on is the United States is directly involved in this attack against Russia. So that's why everybody was really freaked out. Hey, well, what's going to happen with Russia? Because really it's us that's doing this. And how is Russia going to respond? And Russia has talked about the possibility of using nuclear warheads, which is, let's just say it's just not good. Okay. Let's just say it's not good. And why is Joe Biden doing this at the end of his term as president? He's going out as president here in just a few days. And all of a sudden he's escalating this war against Russia to a very concerning level. So, it's really raises a lot of questions. Why are we doing this? Why are we sending so much money to Ukraine? Why are we allowing Ukraine to use these missiles to attack Russia? Lots of unanswered questions. I mean, you can kind of conclude what's going on here, but still, it's still happening and it needs to stop, I think. The reported infusion of military assistance is only the latest example of largesse towards Ukraine from lame duck President Joe Biden. As president-elect Donald Trump prepares to enter the White House on a promise of ending Russia's war with Ukraine and finding peace. Since Trump's presidential victory, Biden has forgiven $4.7 million in loans to Ukraine and is asking Congress for an additional $24 billion in military aid. $24 billion. So this is nothing more than a heist. This is nothing more than a straight out blatant heist. And they may say, well, this is money that, the military or the weapons manufacturers in the United States are getting. It's just like, well, why should they get it either? And if you think all of this is going directly to the weapons manufacturers, you're a little bit slow. That's not what's happening. A lot of it might be, but does that really make it any better? Really? Does that make it any better? What about infrastructure? What about a border wall? Like, what about a million other things that Americans can directly benefit from? Why are we giving it to a select few organizations? Because, I mean, really, this is a ton of money that we're talking about here. $24 billion? I mean, are you serious? That's incredible. But Biden is determined to use every cent of military assistance funding that Congress has approved before he leaves the Oval Office on January the 20th. The AP noted his administration has spent $64 billion. Look at this. The Biden administration spent $64 billion in direct military assistance to Ukraine as of November. $64 billion. That amount of money alone is just astronomical. I don't think people understand, and myself included, because I don't think people can really fathom how much money that really is. That is an unfathomable amount of money. But it goes on to say Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky has recently said he would relinquish land to Russia if it meant the end of the war. He is still expecting to join NATO, even though Russia has indicated that it is a non-starter. Former Trump National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien has said Ukraine should not be admitted to NATO at this time. Trump has indicated that the war in Ukraine is fertile ground for a third world war that would almost certainly prompt an exchange of nuclear weapons. Absolutely. And for Zelensky to say this is just kind of insane because that's what Ukraine is. It's a buffer ground or a buffer zone between, Russia, who is not a part of NATO, and NATO countries. That's what Ukraine is. That's why Russia does not want Ukraine to become a part of NATO, because NATO is like in direct conflict with Russia, China, these countries. So they don't want someone like that or a country like that right at their border. And I'm not a Russia apologist or anything like that, but this is how it's been for a really long time. So why would they even suggest that? But what do you guys think? What do you guys think of the $725 million in military assistance going to Ukraine? Do you think this is a good thing? Do you think this is a bad thing? Do you think that it justifies it that some of this money is going to weapons manufacturers here in the United States? That's how they like to justify it, like I said. And it's like, to me, I'm like, well, so you're sending weapons to Ukraine, and then you're using taxpayer dollars to essentially subsidize the weapons manufacturers. I feel like we could find some better use for that money. But then again, I'm not a foreign policy expert. That's just my opinion. But let me know what you think. Like and subscribe to my channel. I would really appreciate it. But until then, I'll see you on the next one.